Hi, here I am. This is gonna be a little quick video filler. Craptacular, Specialtacular. I'm gonna tell you what I'm working on. A little series on the Cairn TTRPG. I just got the free PDF version for the first edition. Oh, that's my alarm. Let me fix that. Have it on bedtime. Okay, 9 p.m. is recording, which is bedtime for my daughter. So here we are. Okay. I also have second edition of Karen. Oh, I'm knocking crap in there. Right here. So we have this is the Warden's Guide. This is what they call a Dungeon Master, Game Master, and this is the Player's Guide. Now, if you look, this second edition. This is first is like 14 page and but this is like almost 20 times more uh, with two books and stuff like that. Still very rules light. Still kind of more on figuring out what you're gonna do as opposed to looking at what your character can do. If you can explain yourself to the DM, you can do things. I gotta let you go for a little bit. Another fire to put out in my house. Be back. I don't know. What do you think? I'm kind of puzzled. Uh, else? This is weird and fillery. Slowly spinning my lazy suit, and I will grab. Oh, this. How about this? Another free thing I got that I spent too much money on paper. I guess my biggest problem I have it solo role playing. I've seen a lot of people for what we're talking about that, and I just don't get it. Like that's why I gravitate for like towards AI realm or stuff like that. I just can't stand that stuff. Uh, I just think it's garbage, and because of that, I just but maybe not. I'm just looking at my levels because I'm getting like a 1 second delay in my headphones for some reason. It's driving me crazy. So I'm gonna turn the audio down and just look at the levels. This is better. All right. Let me see. Yeah. So what else to talk about? Yeah, I don't. I have misgivings about like solo RPGs. They always have this thing called an oracle or an event generator or something like that, and I've seen some people, and really what they're doing is they're running the game more as a game master, and then the party is behavior is based on random die rolls. And some people are playing the reverse where they're having somebody, you know, I don't know. I look at Ironsworn, I've looked at all kinds of other stuff. It just doesn't seem to capture my attention. Or, I guess what I don't get in those setups is you have how to put it? A tabletop RPG is usually kind of conversational. You'll have your DM who reads an exposition or tells you the exposition, and then you ask questions to your DM about what you know. And based upon those questions, you can either answer them straight up, or if it's something you need to really catch to see, you'll do like some sort of perception check, you know, all across the board in most systems. And then after that, you know, based on the results, he'll give you more information. Then you tell him what you're going to do. And eventually you get into an encounter with an NPC. You get his back. DM tells you something, you do a reaction. I just don't know where to start when I'm doing a solo RPG. Like I create my character, then what? It's just weird. Like maybe I need to roll the die and figure out what to do, what's going to happen, and then react to what happens, and then roll. It's a table. It just seems very unfun. Now I can conceive of like choose your own adventure books, which I have. This is some sort of solo fantasy dungeon. Basically a choose your own adventure book kind of setup with, let me see here. You even have very simplified character sheet. There's things by J. Pingo Lins. I don't know. Yeah, another book I've skimmed. Got familiar with the setup, but haven't really done that kind of thing in ages. I grew up playing those before doing proper tabletop. That was my introduction to the world of RPGs and RPG-like, games. I probably a better spot for it. So, yeah, how do you play by yourself? That's something I've been thinking about. We're, TRPGs are at their core a social kind of thing. And culturally, historically, it was always not always the most popular kids, especially a lot of people try it out in middle school and stuff, and then they got into different things in high school. And it was then you had the kids who stayed hardcore in it in high school, and a lot of them were kind of the misfits, the kids that were more geeky than nerdy, if you know the difference. But I mean, there was some overlap, a lot of kids, but it wasn't like a one-to-one transfer. Some of the kids in the computer club were too cool to hang out with the D&D crowd. A lot of the kids in the D&D crowd weren't necessarily that talented, in computers. They may have a great D&D player. And then, people graduate. Some people go off to college where they can play a little bit or join the military. I've heard there's some people who play D&D while enlisted. I don't know. I even heard of people playing D&D in prison, which I don't know. Well, brings me back to something I was kind of researching. It was like, what are the things that younger or midlife game masters have? Is a lot of times just having a regular group. It kind of dovetails with something you always hear about the male loneliness epidemic and all that crap. I think it's crap. I don't think it's a male loneliness epidemic. It's a human loneliness epidemic. There is a lot of alienation, I believe, in such society, to use a Marxist term. And I don't know. Is it because we're hyper-connected digitally, but we're completely disconnected personally? When I look at my daughter, she doesn't want to go to the pool. She made friends in school, but she barely knows anybody in the apartment complex. I look at my childhood, and I was a little shy sometimes during the summer. When I would visit my grandparents, kind of didn't want to talk to a kid they didn't know too much. I don't know. Again, I had a lot of screen time back then, in the 80s and 90s. I was the kid who was on his Super Nintendo, his Nintendo, his Game Boy. I was on my portable system 24/7, on any kind of thing. When I wasn't on the Game Boy, I was listening to music on my Walkman or Discman. So I was very, very plugged in, And when I wasn't doing those things, had a book in my hands. So you're gonna say, "Oh, well, books are not as bad as screens." Well, you don't get the flashy lights kind of stuff, but your attention's focused inward and downward when you read a book. Inward in the sense that the attention goes down on the page, you read the page, but then your mind is, especially when you read fiction, is comprehending and creating some sort of image or roadmap of what's happening. At least for me, that's my experience of reading. And so, long story short, I was not that I was easily connected, but what helped me is school. Even if you're not the most popular kid, if you can't make friends from the top down, you make friends from bottom up. What the nerds are doing. Make friends with people that way. Sooner or later you'll find, but now it's harder. And if you don't know, I'm a full-time caretaker to one disabled, mentally and physically disabled adult, one elderly disabled adult, although mentally my father's fine, and then my daughter is just recovering from leukemia and started school and she hadn't been in school for a year. So, full plate. My father has enough mental wherewithal that he could watch my wife in case of emergency if I had to be out of town for a day back then. But unfortunately, her condition has deteriorated. So I'm personally isolated. This is me. If this rings true with you, uh, I really hope you can connect with somebody, you can connect with me. I don't know. Again, a lot of these vlogs, a lot of these more, you know, me talking off the cuff kind of videos that I do while I'm writing and editing. My more formal videos kind of always seem to miss the mark, I guess, I feel. I'm not getting the views, but there's some stuff I want the views because, I'm in the YouTube competition. I'm competing primarily with myself and all that. But when I make it something more personal or something like that, I want to connect with somebody over there out on interwebs. I want you to know that I'm here. I guess I'm here for you. You know, I don't know you. You see me. You hear what I'm presenting. You know me yet. You know, the best we can hope is some sort of semi-social kind of relationship. You know, or you can comment on my videos and I can reply back and forth, and you can watch my videos, or heck, you can remix my videos into shorts and put your own twist on them. But I guess we're all slowly getting into parasocial relations. Oh. For those who don't know what a parasocial relationship is, it's 10% word there. It's basically kind of like a one-way street relationship. Uh, but you think you're connected with somebody, but they don't even know you exist. Not because they don't like you or like that. It's just there's a barrier. For instance, when little kids watched Mr. Rogers or whatever kid show they watched today, talks directly at the kid knows he's being talked to. And he may talk back, hey, Mr. Rogers, or hey, Barney. Oh my god, I'm dating myself. Or hey, Bluey. Bluey, I think. And they go on. But Bluey, Barney, Mr. Rogers don't hear them. Mr. Rogers particularly knew he had a responsibility towards those kids of giving them solid messaging, but he couldn't hear them. He could only guess. And he made a lot of educated guesses. The reason why I bring that up also, my wife watches a lot of TV. And she's wheelchair bound now, more or less. Although right now I've been using a sort of belt with handles to schlep her around the house, but I need to get her a transport chair. My father has the wheelchair that he doesn't always use, so we borrow his wheelchair, but I got two disabled people and I need a second chair. What else? Yeah, I don't even know how long this video is gonna last. I mean, 24 minutes, but I'm gonna have to trim that down so you're not gonna see 24 minutes on here. You know, keep looking aside and not, I forget that I have to make eye contact with the PN Overlord, also known as my webcam. Ugh, what else? That's about it. Oh, little product I love. bag bomb, also known as udder butter. Basic, you can. Originally, it was used to help cows with their and sheep with their udders, but it's really good on dry skin. My feet get really dry and cracked, and yes, this old fart here uses this as a moisturizer, Vaseline-like product. I just love it. Oh, let's see. Oh. Very good product. I love it. It's a tape measure from Milwaukee. Stays out until I push the button. It locks. I like it. I've had Stanley tape measures before. I like this Milwaukee one. What does this have to do with TTRPGs? Well, I don't know. Playing minis like Warhammer, you really need a tape measure, stuff like that. What else? I really wish they had a Daggerheart DM screen, or uh, I don't know what they call their storyteller DM. I still think they should have called him a Dagger Master, so they kept the DM acronym, just F with WotC. All right, let me see here. Anything to help us wake up? I don't know. Well, I thought I had another scene or some rando video loop. Well, I just realized how some cool things about OBS. Barely use that thing. Alright, if you're watching this much, you really deserve a lot of love from me. Because it is what I am. Okay. Well, here we are. Um, oh, I don't know. What else? I should probably. I don't know. I had an idea and kind of stopped. I don't know. I'm not. I don't want to divulge it yet. Actually, I will. I'll show it. Sid Field. What does Sid Field have to do with Dungeons and Dragons? Nothing. But he had a lot to do with screenwriting and storytelling. And I think maybe I should do a lesson that you could learn from Sid Field for your Dungeons and Dragons game. Maybe it's one of those ideas that imprints and connects with me, but doesn't have any connection outside the world. My voice is weird. Like it seems like I'm slipping into different dialects or accents without realizing. What's wrong with me? I must be crazy. Well, I spoke to dead air. I gotta cut this up, edit it out, pretend to make it look better, post it, and then have everything back where it belongs. Just remember, here I'm trying to bring classic vibes to your TTRPG with style and tunes. But I haven't talked about music in a couple of months. Wow, that's something I could bring up. Should I still do music on this channel? I might post a couple of weird loops and stuff I was creating. Um, I don't know. And I often wonder, would it be better for ambience loops to be more minimal for DMs, or do they want full-on atmospheric songs? Oh, I'm gonna clock out, go to bed, cut this tomorrow morning, I have a feeling. So when you see it, it'll be a couple of days from Monday, because I don't post things immediately. I dump it into the tube, and the algorithm slice and dice the video, and figure out how many people they can dump it out to. Thinking about coming up with contests, for the channel. Something we can pitch in, maybe, I don't know, if you comment a secret word that will be either displayed or pop on the short part of the video at the very end, you will get a prize. I'm not going to say how big the prize is. I'm broke, so I can't give you out too much. Who knows? Maybe it's a signed T-shirt or a gift card or private evening with me. PG though. Just keep it PG. Who knows? Contest, something brewing. I will make a whole video about it and then keep posting the videos. All right. Thank you for those. If you see this and you're at the end of this, you're a hero. I don't think I would have watched the whole thing. Have a good day. Bye bye. Good night. Good afternoon. Whenever you watch this, make sure the time is good.